Welcome to Uncaged Zootours. If you are new to the channel and love animals, I recommend and appreciate hitting the like and subscribe buttons and the bell icon to join me on my tours. My dear friends, for the first time on my tours, we are heading to the Lone Star State of Texas. Welcome to the Fort Worth Zoo, a paradise for 542 different animals, from their elephant springs to their amazing reptile house and their spectacular African savanna.
Excuse me, sir. Since we are in Texas, is it more than cowboys, barbecues, and a space program?
Yes, it is. Our first tour will showcase that Texas is a very diverse state, since it is the second largest state in America. To prove my point, we're heading to Texas Wild. Opened in 2001, this fantastic attraction is located on the outskirts of a fictional town called Hill Country. We'll meet various animals from the prairies and swamps to the shores and brush country. Also, we'll go behind the scenes to meet some of the zoo's ambassador animals. Saddle up, my friends. Let's go! Texas Wild is located at the furthest corner of the zoo, past the Australian outback and the penguins. Wow, Hill Country is huge! You said it. On the way, we can also visit this play barn. It has several rabbits and even a Texas longhorn. I'll come back to you in a while. We still have more to see. The second section is the first of several that are right outside town. The Highlands and Prairies represent northwestern Texas. The first aviary displays green jays. I wonder if they are as mean as their blue jay cousins. Next door are burrowing owls and a greater roadrunner.
It's never too early to talk about roadrunners again.
You said it. Roadrunners prefer small snacks like lizards, spiders, and even rattlesnakes. However, rattlesnakes have powerful venom, which can kill the roadrunner if it's not careful. But the bird can also grab the snake by the head and whip it back and forth to subdue them. Then, the roadrunner can enjoy a nice juicy snake lunch. The birds also live with prairie dogs, which I previously discussed in my Arizona trail tour at the Phoenix Zoo. I said in that tour that prairie dogs use their claws to dig an underground city, but that city can have multiple entrances and tons of burrows 6 to 10 feet deep. Many tunnels have different purposes, from a nursery for the pups to sleeping chambers to listening chambers, where they can hear when a hungry coyote is nearby. And like meerkats, they hire sentries to stand guard at the highest mound closest to their burrows. Prairie dogs are a lot like meerkats than I thought. Next door is a swift fox that I didn't see, but also looking at the prairie dogs, roadrunners, and burrowing owls are white-tailed deer.
How come they don't have antlers?
These are female deer, or does. Deer are timid, but are very protective of their fawns. When looking for food, the does leave the fawns in a special hiding place for hours. While waiting for their mother, fawns lay low in the grass. My friends, if you find a fawn, please leave it alone unless it's sick or injured. After a few hours, the mother will return to nurse the fawn. Oh boy, another animal is giving me the death stare. Besides, deer have excellent eyesight and hearing. Even though white-tailed deer are native to Texas and most of North America, they can also be found in Central and South America. They are also introduced in New Zealand, Europe, and the Caribbean. These does also live with wild turkeys and sandhill cranes. Because of the bird flu, they were off exhibit. Besides, bird flu is very deadly. Please refer to my Alabama Wilds at the Birmingham Zoo tour to learn more about them. My friends, our next stop is Pineywoods and Swamps, representing eastern Texas. Our first swamp resident is the red wolf, which I didn't see either. If you want to learn more about them, please refer to my Streamside and Prairie at the North Carolina Zoo tour. Next door is another swamp resident, the American alligator, who lives with sunfish.
It looks like it's just made of plastic.
This is a real gator. Alligators are cold-blooded animals. They don't have to eat regularly and can sunbathe for up to 17 hours daily. The North American river otter, on the other hand, is very active. They can stay underwater for up to 8 minutes and can dive as low as 60 feet below the surface of a river or lake. Like sea otters, otters close their nostrils to keep water out of their noses. Otters can also slide on their bellies in winter and burrow through the snow. All this playing helps strengthen their bonds, is great hunting practice, and marks their territory. Then there's the American black bear.
This black bear may be asleep, but I think they must be dreaming about all the food they can eat.
I guess they're doing that. Black bears love to eat berries, roots, salmon, deer, moose, and even leftover carcasses. Besides, they need to eat as much as possible before winter. When they wake up in spring, it's time to start fattening up. Oh, and there are also my good friends, the trumpeter swans. I almost forgot about you. Our next stop is Gulf Coast, home to animals native to southeast Texas, like the upside-down jelly, which I didn't see. But the next tank contains pompanos and lookdowns. Lookdowns are so transparent that I can see their insides. It's not like my eyes have X-ray vision, but the lookdown's transparency helps reflect the sun's rays like a mirror. There's also a redfish, and following that is a touch tank, home to chocolate chip sea stars, pincushion sea stars, and a few others. The main attraction of this touch tank are horseshoe crabs.
They don't look like crabs.
Horseshoe crabs are related to spiders and scorpions, but are still arthropods. Scientists discovered that horseshoe crabs have been around for 445 million years. They even survived the mass extinction that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. However, horseshoe crabs haven't evolved much and are considered living fossils. Horseshoe crabs also have 10 legs, but they also have 2 extra appendages called chelicera. Horseshoe crabs don't have jaws, so they use their chelicerae to crush up food before eating. And then there's the very cute Texas diamond terrapin. Isn't he cute? Back outside is a walk-through aviary. I'm not sure why a scarlet ibis is here since they're from South America, but there's also a plain chachalaca and a few other birds, including these roseate spoonbills. Spoonbills are found on every continent except Antarctica, but roseate spoonbills can be located in Texas, Florida, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. Like flamingos, roseate spoonbills get their pink color from the carotenoids they eat, which could explain why some people mistake them for flamingos. Spoonbills sweep their spoon-shaped beak across the water, and when some tasty shrimp comes into their beak, it's dinner time. There are also some American white pelicans, and a female brown pelican. I've never been this close to a pelican. They use their keen eyesight to spot fish from the air, then dive from heights up to 60 feet into the water to catch their prey. Their unique feeding technique involves their large throat pouch that scoops up fish and water, then drains the water out before swallowing the fish. And this pelican was probably doing some exercise. Besides, brown pelicans stretch their pouch inside out to maintain flexibility. To brush country we go. It's the place where more action is.
Why do you say that?
Because brush country is a unique habitat that's a combination of forests, deserts, and prairies. Located in the Rio Grande in southern Texas, it also has a lot of unique animals, such as the bald eagle. The bald eagle is considered one of America's symbols and is the country's national bird. In 1782, after the United States became an independent nation, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and Samuel Adams were tasked with creating a new seal for the nation. The founding fathers' work was handed to Charles Thomson despite their efforts. After some consideration, he used the best elements from each design. He decided our symbol should be an eagle, an idea from William Barton, a lawyer from Pennsylvania. Thomson also decided that the eagle should be a bald eagle, and Congress adopted the design on June 20th, 1782. Now that's a history lesson. But two cougar brothers are across from the bald eagle. Cougars can be found almost anywhere in the Americas. In Texas, they prefer deer. They silently stalk their prey before pouncing on it from behind and delivering a 400-pound lethal bite into the spinal cord before going to a secluded area to feed. In the early 1900s, cougars almost went extinct in Texas due to being hunted by early settlers, but they made a comeback in the early 1970s. Though cougars are numerous, they still must deal with hunting and habitat loss. However, the IUCN lists the cougar as least concern. Next door is a ringtail cat, and if you want to learn more about them, please refer to my night hunters at the Cincinnati Zoo Tour. Another special cat in this area is the ocelot. Ocelots are primarily solitary and elusive animals known for their secretive and nocturnal nature. They are excellent climbers and spend significant time in the trees where they rest, hunt, and travel. Ocelots have a wide range from the southern United States, including parts of Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico. They inhabit various habitats, including tropical and subtropical forests, grasslands, and wetlands. However, their populations have declined in some areas due to habitat loss, fragmentation, and hunting. Another cat you might see is the bobcat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the coyotes. If you're lucky, you might hear the coyotes howl. Like wolves, coyotes howl to announce their presence, defend their territory, or rally the family. Coyotes are normally solitary, but will sometimes form small packs in certain situations. Coyotes are primarily active during twilight hours, but can also be active during the day or night, depending on various factors, such as food availability and human activity. I hope the coyotes' neighbors were okay with all that howling. The jaguar is here for the first time since my South America at the Montgomery Zoo Tour. Jaguars? In Texas? Even though jaguars are more commonly found in Central and South America, they used to live in Texas, but were exterminated and went extinct by 1940. Still, one male jaguar was filmed in 2016 wandering through the deserts of Arizona. Scientists believe that this jaguar migrated north from Mexico due to habitat loss. Across from the cats and dogs is a white-nosed coati. In the coati world, the female is in charge. Females and their young live together in a band of other coatis. When it's time for the mating season, the female coati will limit the male's duties by only allowing them to breed and keeping other males away.
Talk about a toxic relationship.
Before the babies are born, the males will leave to continue their lives alone. The next bird is the crested caracara, the national bird of Mexico, but it is also known as the Mexican eagle. The caracara plays a similar role in the wild to their vulture cousins. They dispose and eat of rotting flesh to prevent diseases. But the caracara can find roadkill first because vultures must wait for it to warm up before they can start eating. Crested caracaras also hunt for snacks like crayfish, small alligators, and fish using their powerful beaks and great eyesight. Their long legs make them great runners compared to most raptors. The next raptor is a red-tailed hawk. Like bald eagles, they can be found almost anywhere in North America. Their famous call is used in movies and TV shows as an eagle call, which sounds like this. Like the caracara, their sharp eyesight is an important tool for searching for prey like ground squirrels. Then the hawk dives down to grab the prey with its talons. Because of their wide range, there are 14 different subspecies of red-tailed hawk. Across from the hawk is another aviary, home to more brush country birds, including these black-necked stilts and another plain chachalaca. The last brush country bird is one of the smallest birds in the world, the broad-billed hummingbird. Hummingbirds can hover, fly up, down, backward, and even upside down thanks to their wings, which move in a figure-8 pattern. Hummingbirds have the highest metabolism of any bird species, with some species having a heart rate exceeding 1,200 beats per minute. To avoid fizzling out, hummingbirds must refuel on nectar every 10 to 15 minutes. Hummingbirds are so fast that they can beat their wings 70 to 80 times a second. Despite their small size, hummingbirds have excellent memories and can remember the locations of individual flowers and feeders, which allows them to establish territories and defend their food sources. I would love to showcase mountains and deserts, but unfortunately it was closed due to renovations. But don't worry, my friends, I have just the thing to make it up to you. But first, we must make a quick pit stop in town. The kitty corral has sheep, pigs, and goats, which we can also pet. But across from the train station is a miniature donkey and another Texas longhorn. Even though the Texas longhorn is Texas's state mammal, it almost went extinct due to crossbreeding with other cattle. However, in 1927, the US government took the remaining longhorns to protected areas, and with a little bit of research about their genetics, the longhorn population soared. Nowadays, there are over 330,000 longhorn cattle. Unlike most bovines, longhorns can survive for days without water. They get their hydration from eating plants, and farmers breed them for their meat. Our final stop is behind the scenes, where we'll meet some of the zoo's ambassador animals. The first owl is Thornton, the great horned owl. Like other ambassador animals, he is trained by the staff and volunteers to educate the public about wildlife. Great horned owls are covered in soft, fluffy feathers that help them stay warm and fly silently through the trees. The great horned owl is the only owl species that can hoot. When Thornton was a chick, he was raised by humans. Keeping an owl as a pet isn't a good idea because it can be hard to understand what an owl wants. Thornton got very sick, and his owners gave him to the Fort Worth Zoo, and the vet team nursed him back to health. Because he was around people for his entire life, he was deemed non-releasable and is now a great ambassador for his species. Owl number 2 is Nigel, the spectacled owl. Unlike Thornton, Nigel was hatched at the zoo. Spectacled owls live in the rainforest of South America, and this guy loves getting scratched by his keepers. Spectacled owls have this exciting laser call that they do at random times, and like most owls, they can't turn their heads all the way around, but they can still turn their heads 260 degrees around. Like most owls, spectacled owls hunt for prey, which plays a significant role in helping their rainforest ecosystem thrive. An owl's eyes don't move like ours can because their eyes have a lot of bones around them. The final owl is Willow the barn owl. She's 1 year old and is camera shy. Barn owls can be found on every continent except Antarctica. They also have a hunting strategy called bull plummeting, where they hover in mid-air and use their sharp talons to catch prey on the ground without landing. Since Willow is young, the keepers are trying to get her adjusted to meeting more people. Despite this, Willow is coping well with the change. Besides, change is a good thing because it helps us mature. You said it, my friend. Thank you. The owls we just saw were part of the zoo's owl encounter. It's $75 per person. And that wraps up one of the longest tours I've ever done.
That was amazing!
Thank you. If you want to learn about Texas, I highly recommend this exhibit. Now it's time to vote. Which Fort Worth Zoo exhibit would you like to see next? Would you like to visit Elephant Springs and meet one of its baby elephants? If we visit the African savanna, we'll meet black rhinos, hippos, giraffes, and meerkats. Or we can see the Museum of Living Art, where we'll meet tons of reptiles, invertebrates, fish, and a giant crocodile. Today's question is, have you ever been behind the scenes at a zoo or aquarium? As always, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching. Now let's get something to eat. I'm starving!